So you bought a new side-by-side. What's the first thing you're going to do with it? Take it off-road? No, you're going to customize it. And coming up, we'll show you some cool accessories that'll make your UTV look great, be more visible, and survive whatever you can throw at it. All that, plus some new automotive technologies that'll blow your mind. Right here, right now, on Motorhead Garage. This is Motorhead Garage presented by Top Coat, and this is a really cool UTV with lots of great custom stuff. And if you get a great UTV, the last thing you want to do is take it out on the trail and destroy it the first time out. And that is where our friends at Side by Customs come in. Brady, you've got one particular piece here that's going to come in handy when you're zooming across the rocks. Tell me what you got.
So Dave, our big seller here is the rock slider here. The reason for it is these panels from Polaris are expensive. They really don't have a ton of ground clearance on these machines, and these are significant investment to your machine to protect it.
Well, and you're buying this thing to go over the rocks.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the rocks are going to be at least as tall as this anyway.
Yeah.
So this, to me, stands out as the first thing that's going to get damaged.
For sure. You know, a lot of people, one of the first things they do is they add the wheels and tires. It gives a little bit of ground clearance, but this is one of big protections on the investment.
And it's going to cost you a few $100 for a new rocker panel, but only just a touch more for these, and you're going to need to replace the rockers over and over.
Yeah, absolutely. And these are easy to come off. They're easy to powder coat, sandblast and re-powder coat if you want to change the color. There's a lot of people that wrap their machines, so you can match the powder coat on this too.
Now, what are these made of?
The skin here is made out of 1/8" steel. The wraps around the bottom of the car, goes in under about 2 inches, and around the front as well.
I've seen others that don't do that, which seems to me kind of silly.
I don't understand why it does either. It is a little bit more work, but it's well worth it. That's what makes us, stand out. There's not another production slider around that has the kind of protection that ours do for this.
And another thing that stands out to me, I see a lot of other Nerf bars similar, and they're all round. Most of them are round anyway. Yours are square. What's the difference?
I like the look of the square personally. It matches kind of the sharp lines on the general, the square tubing. But the big thing is it matches our rear rack here, but it's easy to hop up on. We sell a lot of these roof racks. Probably combined between the two of us, it's probably close to 400 pounds.
Yep.
You can jump around up all the time.
And get right to the roof rack.
Yep.
Tell me about the roof rack. You make those too?
Yeah, the roof rack, these are all made out of 1/8" aluminum, so they're all bent, formed. They've got a bunch of tie-down spots up there. We got guys, if they don't have a spare tire rack, they can carry a spare tire up there. Coolers, camp chairs. There's a lot of guys that go for a couple, 2, 3, 4 day journeys, and if they don't have a trailer, they use the roof racks to haul other junk.
Not a whole lot of storage space in the back.
No, there's not a ton. And that's what's cool about these bed racks here, is they actually work with the factory box from Polaris.
I loved it. You touched on them earlier, the square look of the rack on the back there.
Yeah, and it just kind of helps tie all my products together. Like I said, the General has a lot of sharp square lines on it, so we wanted to kind of match and mimic that.
And one thing I like about the rack is it doesn't latch, so you don't get a lot of the rattles and things like that.
And that's one of my biggest things, that rattles drive me crazy. Yeah. I got a lot of customers that are like, oh, how do we mitigate this rattle? How do we get, a lot of people use pins. Pins rattle. Screws and bolts are easy, but what's nice about this, we actually designed it, so as you close it, the struts hold it shut. And unless you're doing 60 miles an hour through a bunch of whoops, or I've only had a couple customers coming down in Moab, coming over about ready to dump their machine, that the tire flipped open. That was very minimal though.
And when it is open, gives you better visibility.
Yeah, I actually have a lot of guys that drive with it open all the time.
I like it. And speaking of visibility, we're looking right through a brand new windshield from Side by Customs. Looks really cool. How are yours different from some of the others out there?
One of the big things, Dave, is we actually offer a front and a rear. There's a handful of companies that do offer front and rear windows, but not a ton do. We offer this as a combo package at a discounted price as well. But the cool thing about it is it's functional as far as dual vents. You have a driver and a passenger, different venting system, and just the finish on it. It's clean, it's flush with the cage. A lot of people just come over the top of this cage. The ProFit cage, Polaris did a really good job for the aftermarket accessories to be able to just make everything flush and clean. And we just kind of followed along with that, try to make everything blend in with it.
Looking at this, I never would have guessed it was aftermarket. It looks like it's stock.
Yeah, that's what we were going for. We really were.
This is important to me. Where is everything made for Side by Customs?
So we're located in northern Utah, up in Ogden, and everything is local to us. We try to source everything as local as we can, but everything is assembled and fabricated in-house. We actually have our powder coating real close that we have we are getting a lot of control over. That being said, if there's ever any issues, feel free to reach out. We're going to make things right and make sure you get the product you paid for.
I love it. Satisfaction guarantee.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's huge to people. They want to know that you're being taken care of.
And you can take care of people. You have stuff for a lot of different models, but what if they can't find their specific model of UTV on your website?
So we make a lot of different items and a lot of custom products, so feel free to reach out. If we don't have anything listed on the website, just give me a call.
Excellent. Well, Customs is right in the name, so you can get something made for you. Check them out at sidebykcustomsusa.com. We will be right back with more Motorhead Garage presented by Top Coat right after this.
Motorhead Garage, presented by Top Coat, is brought to you by Magic Creeper, the most versatile creeper ever. Custom Auto Sound, the originator of classic car OEM fit radio since 1977. AP Laser, leading the way. And by Top Coat. Don't just coat it, top coat it.
This is Motorhead Garage presented by Top Coat, and I'm trying to figure out why this Jeep isn't starting. Oh, there's your problem. No, actually, we're putting an LS motor in this thing, and while we get that sorted out, why don't you take a look at a segment from our sister show, Performance TV. This one's from the Wayback Machine, hosted by funny car driver Tommy Johnson Jr. and our old friend Kathy Fisher.
Whether it's a go-kart, late model, sprint car, drag car, or off-road like our rock crawler we have here, Rod End Supply has something for you. And Bob Douglas, thank you for joining us here today. You do everything from what we're seeing here to even going into space.
Yes, we make a wide variety of product for a wide variety of applications.
Absolutely, and as we've seen before, but I want to remind folks, the principle behind what makes Rod End Supply work so well, last so long, and keep the dirt out.
Yes, what we do is we have a one-piece body. The ball is inserted into the slot, and then we injection mold the nylon fiber material around the ball. It keeps the dirt out, it's self-cleaning, self-lubricating, doesn't beat out like a Teflon liner would. And it doesn't get really loose and free like a two-piece type rod end.
Right, like, you know, like some of the stuff that we've seen on our rock crawler we have in here today. I mean, this is bad.
Very bad.
And you have something for all different types of applications, like we even mentioned some of the ones. You have a lot to choose from in your catalog, but you have a lot of one-offs that you've done special for companies as well.
Yes, we've done quite a few different one-off pieces before. We make a part for the NASCAR industry, which uses our nylon fiber construction, but it's got a high misalignment ball in it that we developed by pressing stainless steel spacers in it that do not come out. We've also done some other things. This happens to be a part that we made for the SpaceX program, and this goes on their rockets.
Wow, like I said, even going into space. But speaking of space, this thing likes to try to get through specific spaces and crawl around on rocks. Hey, why don't you go over there, Bob, and see if Tommy could use a little help and get some expertise on changing those out.
Hey, Tommy, how you doing?
Doing good. I got things loosened up. I just want to break this jam nut loose before I pull it out. Makes it a lot easier. There we go. All right, got that loose, so it'll be easy to get it off once we get the bar out of there. Now, the key to making the suspension work well, the rod end's got to move. Everything's got to work and move smoothly, and rod ends can be a big factor of that, can't they, Bob?
Absolutely.
We got to pull this nut off, and then we're ready to take that out. What I like is you don't have to disassemble everything to change the rod ends. All right, we're getting there.
Need any more help over there, Tommy?
Oh, we're just about, there we go.
Ah, okay.
Fell right out. All right, all we gotta do is pull this bar down and spin this out, right?
Yeah.
Look at that. Boy, it is a little worn out, isn't it?
Now, the high misalignment spacers that we're using in that is the stainless steel.
Yeah, I'm gonna pull them out while I put it in, make it easier so I don't lose them.
Yeah, the ones that came out of there were a mild steel, which they work as well too. The stainless steel doesn't rust, which makes it nice.
All right, now how long is a life expectancy on a rod end? Let's say on a rock crawler like this.
They ought they should last at least one season unless they get broke from an accident or
Abuse.
Yes.
Nobody ever abuses anything, do they?
Oh, not at all.
All right, we'll put these back in there, slide it up, and put our bolt back.
Might have to persuade it a little bit with your hand.
All right, what we're going on here? Well, yeah, we're close.
I was gonna say it looked like it was starting to go. So.
Yeah, zip in there. Look at that, fell right in.
All right.
All right, we'll put our nut washer back on here. And then once I get it all tightened up, I'll tighten the jam nut, right?
Good idea.
Get it all on there, all right. Now, I'm gonna run this jam nut down, tighten it up, make sure everything swivels good, nice and free.
Right.
Before we finish tightening, right?
Yep. And then we can always replace the other end too.
Oh, we got plenty more to replace.
Oh yes.
Do not go anywhere because we have lots more Motorhead Garage presented by Top Coat coming up right after this.
Motorhead Garage, presented by Top Coat, coming to you from Borla Commerce Park.
Well, you got to see Kathy and Tommy from an old episode of Performance TV, and every once in a while I get a turn as well. Here's me filling in on Performance TV earlier in the year. Hope you enjoy this one. Now, we see a lot of UTVs and UTV accessories on the show, and I guarantee you this is some stuff you're really going to like. Now, Alan Wood, simply put, Woody's Lights here. What kind of accessories do you offer for UTVs like this one?
Well, simply we do lighting. So basically everybody that rides these things, they want theirs to look a little bit different. So we provide a way for that to happen with lights. So we're all about the safety. You can take them out in the dunes and light yourself up, make it to where you're visible.
Now, what kind of lights do you offer?
So we do whips, LED whips, and we also do rock lights, and we do other custom things as well. Our biggest sellers are definitely the whips and rock lights.
Well, let's talk about some of the custom stuff that you guys do. What comes through your shop?
So just about anything. We've actually lit up 18-wheelers, showrooms. We've done quite a few different things. So just anything you can think of.
Wherever the imagination will go.
Right.
So why do you focus so much on UTVs?
Well, that's what we enjoy. So we actually started riding UTVs before we started any of this, and it was just another way to make our ride different, and next thing you know, we're doing it to other people's as well.
Well, how did you come up with some of the ideas you had?
Just being out there and riding. It's one of those things where you got to be out there and experience it, and you find a way to make your stuff unique.
Well, let's talk about some of the lights you have. Now, tell me what these are right here.
So these are our rock lights. These are actually solid color pods. And they come with the rubber puck. That's the way you can mount them to your frame, just nice and easy. These will actually light up the underside of your ride. So you pick a color, you put it up under there, and these are durable. You could actually beat them with a hammer, hit them with a rock, and they're going to last for you.
Can you change the color?
This model, actually, you can't, but we do have a RGBW, so it's red, green, blue, white, and of course it mixes to make all the other colors as well.
Great. Now, I like the puck. It mounts on there. It becomes sort of a shock mount, if you will, right?
Yeah, shock mount, and that's just the benefit of it. The biggest thing is you're not trying to put something that's flat on a round piece of your frame.
Makes a lot of sense. And what if I do scrape it up on the rocks? What happens?
Well, I mean, you could scrape it up all you want, and it's still going to keep working. If somehow you manage to break one, you just send it back to us. We'll replace it for you.
That's great. Now, if I'm looking for something for my UTV, for my truck, whatever application, what do I need to do when I come to you guys?
Well, it's really easy. You just go to our website, woodyslights.com. We have just about everything there. If you have an idea that's not on our website, then just give us a call.
And are they talking to you?
Yeah, they'll talk to me. We have very small staff, so chances are they're talking to me if they call us. So.
Cool. Now, the lights are clearly durable, but everything you guys do, you're not messing around. I mean, even down to the cables. Talk about that.
So we didn't want to send out some little rink-a-dink cable that's going to, get a little warm and melt, because you're putting it on a warm machine.
And this one's coming right off your power source.
Yeah, so this is our 10-foot power cord that's actually included on every set of whips that goes out. Your 10-foot cord hooks up to your splitter here, and these actually go out to the whips themselves.
And speaking of the whips, that is where my man Brock comes in. Now, Brock, these are pretty cool. I want to see how hard are they to actually install, though?
Yeah, definitely. Basically, you just slide it into the quick release mount here and line the plug up.
And now, are these, did you have to drill holes here?
Nope, there's holes already there for flag mounts typically, and these holes here on the back side.
Now, who's using these whips? Clearly for looks, but...
It's also for safety, so people who are out in sand dunes, trails, wooded trails, so that if there's a group of people, these help spot you out, so no one runs into you. So it's definitely a safety factor as well.
It's half for looks and half for safety.
Definitely.
I like it. Is this the 3-footer?
Yes. So this is a 3-footer.
What other lengths do you guys have?
We do 1 foot, 2 foot, 3 foot, 4 foot, 5 foot, 6 foot, 7 foot, and 8 foot.
Holy cow.
Yeah,
So when you
so-
start to get, when you're riding in dunes and stuff, that'll be perfect.
Yes, definitely.
So when you're getting into longer whips especially, now you're going to have moments where you, hey, I think I can clear that tree, and you ride under it,
Right.
and things go bad. What happens if I have an oops moment like that?
So if you have an oops moment, we have a lifetime warranty on the product. So we will cover if the whip gets broken down here, or if our LED, you know it's an LED that's out because it got smacked by a tree or something like that, it's covered under our warranty.
Now, how likely is it one of these is actually going to break like right in the middle?
There's the chances of that is very slim, unless someone is trying to break it on purpose.
I think it's your friend showing off by the campfire at night.
Exactly.
And that's not covered,
That's not covered.
but normal stuff is covered.
Normal stuff is covered.
Yeah,
So
if-
water damage, anything like that.
That's fantastic. Well, I think they're really cool looking. Let's see how they look when you light them up.
Yeah.
That will get you seen, and you can select a bunch of different colors, right?
Yep. 358 different combos.
358 different colors. It's all up to your imagination. Check them out at woodieslights.com. Well, we've still got plenty more to do here on Motorhead Garage, presented by Top Coat, so do not go anywhere. We'll be right back.
And now for a little Motorhead Garage trivia. Alan Breed made a major automotive breakthrough in 1968. His sensor and safety system was the world's first electromechanical airbag system. The Oldsmobile Toronado was the first car made available to the public with an optional passenger airbag. In what year was it first offered? It was 1973. Motorhead Garage, presented by Top Coat, is brought to you by Stage 8 Fasteners, home of the world's best locking header bolt. Locking kits now available for all turbo applications. Go to stage8.com. LSX Specialties, custom wiring harnesses and performance tuning. NH Oil Undercoating, the official oil-based rust prevention system. And by Tribotex, make your engine last longer.
You know, Joe, the automobile was invented at the turn of the last century, and over the course of over 100 years, rust is still the enemy. Nobody's really figured out how to address it until now. What are you guys at NHOU doing to combat rust?
In my life, it certainly has been, which was the catalyst for me getting into this business. And rust has been dubbed the longest war. It's really difficult to beat Mother Nature, but what we do is slow her down. And what we do is mainly use an oil-based rust proofing. So if you have a brand new vehicle, we have two options, but for now we'll discuss the oil. The oil is something that would go on brand new or use pre-existing rust. It does not encapsulate the rust. That only allows it to grow beneath the surface. It looks pretty. Eventually it comes through. This will actually go down to the good metal, displace moisture, remove oxygen. As long as you have product on your vehicle, you stop oxidation.
Now, if I bring my automobile to you or to an authorized dealer, what happens to the car?
You should clean it before you come in. We would bring it in, we would blow it off. It would take about an hour. We'd apply oil to everything that's exposed in the undercarriage, all your body cavities, you're in and out, come back in a year.
Is it safe for my car? Is it safe for the environment?
Our oil is non-conductive, it is environmentally friendly, no solvents, no detergents.
What's the biggest battle you're fighting here? Obviously, we know about rust, but as far as educating the customer.
Cultural.
Yeah.
It's people thinking this through like proactively, like changing the oil on your vehicle. People don't think about corrosion until it's, it's a failed inspection or they have a structural failure.
Well, you're starting your education here, and if you want to further it, you can check them out at the website, Joe.
NHOilundercoating.com.
You are looking at our resident astrophysicist, our resident nuclear physicist, military contractor, college instructor, you name it. Pasha Rudenko has done it all, and he is also a tribologist, which is the reason we have him here. He's an expert in lubrication, and that means Tribotex. What can Tribotex do to protect my engine and make it last longer?
Tribotex is nanotechnology-based smart coating that is self-appliant to your engine and protected while you drive.
Now, we've seen a lot of different additives for oils and things you put in your engine. How is Tribotex different from all the others that are out there?
When you use oil additive, they designed to modify function of oil, viscosity, thermal stability. The Tribotex does not interact with the oil much. It interacts with the engine and forms coatings on the cylinders, on rings, on valve train, and protect the surface from the oil. So when oil is gone out of the engine, Tribotex stays.
Really?
The biggest difference.
So the oil is essentially just a vehicle to get the Tribotex to where it needs to
That's
go.
correct, Dave. Yes. Nanoparticles swim in the oil like little nanobots and get applied to areas where only friction takes place. And after the oil is gone, they're there to protect your engine from the friction.
So how often do I need to use Tribotex?
It lasts over several oil changes. So you change oil, Tribotex stays on the surface and retains oil even if the oil completely gone.
Well, it's remarkable, and we are just scratching the surface when it comes to Tribotex. Over the coming weeks, we're going to dig deeper and show you exactly how it works. In the meantime, you can check them out at tribotex.com.
Now, measuring your tread depth on your tire is not only good for safety reasons, it's good for gas mileage. So I'm going to show you how to do that and read some tire wear patterns. Now, you can go get a fancy tread depth gauge like this. They're relatively inexpensive, so easy to use. You just come down to the tire, push down on it, the little knobber is going to go down in there, and then it's read in 30 seconds. So this one's reading about 7:30 seconds. You're in pretty good shape. You can actually look at it on the graphic right there. The graphic shows it as it goes around. You can see the red's down about 1 or 2 30 seconds. It's time to replace the tires. 4 medial, and then you start getting up good. Everybody's seen the penny, the head trick with the penny. Well, that's about 2 30 seconds. You can stick that in as well, and you can see if Lincoln's head's sticking out of there. That's a good thing to do. Now, if you have some tire wear patterns, take a look at this graphic right here. This is pretty cool. There's feathering. That's when it goes from one side to the other. That's usually a toe or alignment issue. Overinflation is going to actually wear it in the middle of the tire. Underinflation's on both sides of the tires because you don't have enough air. One side wear is usually alignment, angle, cause camber, and cupping just means that you have a shock issue. So looking at your tires, making sure you're safe is going to keep your car in good shape. It's also going to buy you some gas mileage. Get you a tread gauge and go ahead and look at your tires.
Well, that is a wrap for this episode of Motorhead Garage. Let's say we do it again next week. In the meantime, you can go to our Facebook page and see what we're up to. And if you have something you'd like to see on the show, email Jeff at masterstv.com. So until next week, from our entire crew, we'll see you next time on Motorhead Garage, presented by Top Coat.